All right. Good morning, everybody. And thank you so much for joining us today for this free Zoom training on how to use AI to grow your real estate brand. I am Natalie Ritterboss. I am the owner of My Porch Social, a social media marketing company for real estate. And I'm also the admin of Realtor Networking and Social Media Tips, which is probably how you heard about this training today. So thanks for being a part of that group. And thank you for joining us today here. I think that this training is so valuable for everybody in the real estate biz. And I just found out about RealEstateContent.ai just a few weeks ago. And you guys, I was blown away by this technology and how it can be used to target your exact audience, and how you can really reach them with just a few words. So you just enter a few keywords, it generates content for you that reaches and speaks to your exact audience. And so it is just amazing the amount of time it will save you and also the way you can actually target your audience. So without further ado, I'm going to let the creators of RealEstateContent.ai take this over and show you how this works so that you can use it for your real estate business. So welcome, Mark and Kyle. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much, Natalie. Good to see you guys.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to meet with you virtually. I've been in the group before. You have such a great Facebook group. It's such hard to find really good Facebook groups online now. You get so many that are either dead or they get one post a month, and to see your community and how interested they are in learning was really cool to see. So we're excited to tell you everything about our product and give you some AI tips and some general social media stuff so that we can generate some more leads going into the new year. Yeah. Cool. So a little background. My name's Kyle Ranieri. I'm the co-founder of RealEstateContent.ai. A little bit of background on me. So I studied digital marketing at Oklahoma State University, if anybody's from that area. Shortly after that, I started a marketing company that sold sponsorships for professional motorsport and race car drivers. We did everything from social media to commercials to trade shows. And it was actually through that I got to meet Mark LaFleur, who he'll give a background on himself shortly. He's a very talented businessman and entrepreneur up in Canada. And we kind of found that we had a lot of similar interests, one of those being this emerging technology that was AI. And we kind of mended that with, I have a personal connection with the real estate community, a lot of realtors, real estate agents in my family. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I'm actually in here for the holidays. So being able to give back to that community and also use technology that's new and innovative, and mend that together with what me and Mark bring to the table with our marketing backgrounds and business backgrounds is really how this all came about. So Mark, if you want to give a little bit of background on yourself.
Yeah, I always say it's funny how you end up in certain industries, and this is one of them. So in 2015, I started a company called True Local up in Canada. And for those of you that don't know, the sort of D2C direct-to-consumer food world, the easiest way to think about True Local was it was essentially the Canadian version of ButcherBox. So you guys have ButcherBox in the US, doing $500 million. Also similar to like HelloFresh and HelloFresh and Blue Apron. So we did that in Canada, and over the course of 5 years, me and my co-founder, we built it to $20 million. We were acquired at the end of 2020, so exactly 5 years on the day. We had about 60 employees. We actually did a stint in Chicago as well, so we were in the US for a little bit. So, I always say when you're a founder, you kind of get the trial by fire. You end up being a bit of a jack of all trades. So my background before True Local was marketing. We were spending upwards of $200,000 a month on paid advertising, everything from Facebook, Instagram, Google. We did Amazon, Pinterest ads. We worked with influencers. At our peak, we were actually onboarding 80 to 100 influencers a month. So we've gone down that road. We've done, large scale partnerships. We had to deal with Weight Watchers, where we would do some B2B stuff. And really, kind of the claim to fame on that was all really around the branding aspect of it. So what ended up happening is once we were acquired at the end of 2020, decided to, kind of get back into the game again. Once a founder, sort of always a founder. And I'd actually done some consulting for real estate firms out in Austin, Texas. So we actually know Gary Keller. We had done some work with Tim Heil and the Heil Group out there. They're one of the larger organizations. They actually went off to build a huge real estate business called Homeward. So just some consulting with them. So I've always kind of been like real estate adjacent. And when this whole AI thing came out, to me, the writing was on the wall in the sense of how this could benefit real estate agents. I think traditionally, real estate has always kind of struggled to find ways to market from a unique standpoint. So how do you stand out compared to every other agent out there? And what ends up happening is there's such an amazing job that's done with shaking hands, kissing babies, building relationships offline. But I've always found that there's such an opportunity to bring some of that online. And the problem is that it takes a lot of time. It's insanely time consuming. So to go on social, create the captions, have a Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, every day there's something new. It kind of, how do you end up prioritizing that over doing the high value tasks? So to me, when AI came out, it was a no-brainer that this was something that was going to benefit the real estate industry. And that's pretty much how we started this. And like Kyle said, we met about a year ago now and just hit it off right away. His background meshed really well with my background, and we figured that we could come into this industry and actually make an impact. So that's why we're here talking to you today. So really appreciate the time, and excited. It's a very intimate group, which I kind of like that, because you guys can just ask us direct questions. This ends up being much more of a conversation rather than us pitching to you. So I always just want to say, like, take advantage of it. Like, we've got a lot of experience between the two of us in how to build brands online, how to do content. So if, as we're talking, you have some more direct pointed questions, let's just have that conversation, and we're happy to answer some of those.
Yeah, absolutely. And anything around, it can be generalized AI. Today, we're specifically going to talk about social media marketing and how AI can benefit that. I'm also going to give you guys just some general tips so that we can all go into the new year smarter, better, faster. So give you a little of a fun story here before I get into, I've got a slide so you guys can take some notes on some strategies that you can use. This actually started, a really, really good way to put this into context with a lot of the agents that I've worked with. When I moved to Dallas, Texas, is where I'm currently living. I met she's now a really good friend of mine, and she's in this big agency, or small agency, but it's exclusive down there in Dallas, is what she told me. I met a couple of her friends, and it was great to have like that first couple group of friends when we were down there. A couple months later, she invites me to their work party, and I asked her where all of her friends were. And she told me something that you guys have probably experienced, that they dropped out, they couldn't cut it, and finding out that 80% of agents in today's market are failing. That's a reality that's all too real for a lot of us. So I did a little bit of digging and asked her a lot of questions, because I wanted to know, we were already building this product. How could we have helped? And she was in this agency that had Zillow leads, and she loved to talk about how we have the best leads in the business. We don't need to market. We don't need to promote ourselves. We don't need to do anything, because we have the best leads in the business. And I fact checked it. I went on Zillow, put in the zip code, and sure enough, there's her and there's all of her friends who are no longer real estate agents. They came right up. The holy grail for what a lot of agents think. If I was just on Zillow, if I could get those holy grail leads, my life would be set. These people dropped, and they were great people, personable, remembered your name, great salesmen, great people. So it's not a personality problem. And they had all the tools that you think you would need to succeed. But when I did the social check, they didn't pass. They hadn't posted on Instagram since 9 months ago. Some of them didn't even have an Instagram. They were just on Facebook. They didn't have LinkedIn, or they hadn't posted on, I found their Twitter, and it's from high school. And that's a big phenomenon in today's age. It's called the social credibility check. And some of you may be guilty of this yourself, creeping on people on Facebook, finding somebody on Instagram. It's so easy nowadays to go in and find out everything about somebody. And if you think as a real estate agent that your clients aren't going to do that to you, you're wrong. That's the agent. That's the world that we live in. And the way that we stay on top of that is a concept called staying top of mind. Top of mind is keeping all of your social media accounts updated, always constantly updating your audience, just in case a new audience member comes in and they want to see what you're doing. If you haven't posted for 3 months, do you think that client is going to assume that in those 3 months, you've just been so busy closing and selling that you didn't have time to post on Instagram? They're probably going to assume that I might want to go with somebody who posted yesterday, or who's staying up to date, because they're going to stay up to date with me. I don't want a real estate agent who's not going to answer my text when I call, or when I call them, or answer my text or emails. So there's a couple of ways that we can do that. And I'm going to share screen here so that we can, Natalie, if I could get screen share permissions.
Should be able to. Is it working?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Okay, great.
Okay. Give her a second. Okay. So these are just some quick concepts. It's only one slide. We only got 45 minutes, but I'm going to kind of talk these off. And like Mark said, if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat and I'll take a second to answer them. But these are 4 essential components to anybody's online digital strategy. And the first one is the most important one: post every day on multiple accounts. This is called content scaling. Okay. So according to NAR data, top 2 social medias for any real estate agent: Facebook and Instagram. We're probably all guilty of it. I know those are my top 2 anyway. There's a lot of big ones out there: TikTok, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Twitter. As many of them as you can get. Think about as you can turn 1 post into 4 posts. If you had a reach of 5,000 on your Instagram and you multiply that across 4 disciplines, that's 20,000 people that you've reached with one similar post. So really think about, how can I manage to be active across multiple accounts, as many accounts as possible. With RealEstateContent.ai, we targeted that by being the capability to do Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. LinkedIn is also a hidden gem. Me and Mark will talk about that later, but LinkedIn is a great place to find qualified buyers, business professionals, people that are moving for jobs. So we think LinkedIn is a big hidden gem. We've been talking about that with a lot of brokerage owners, and you certainly have the capability to do that with AI nowadays. But the big takeaway here is post every day. Post every day on multiple accounts, engage with your following, post absolutely every day. Every day that you give up is a day that somebody can assume that you're not active as a real estate agent. So post as much as possible. That's point number 1. Second is post targeted content. Now, targeted content is a concept that a lot of us think we understand. It might be self-explanatory, but when you really drill down to it, you have to understand who your target customer is. And I speak to so many real estate agents, brokerage owners, investors, everybody in the real estate industry who thinks my client could be anybody. It's somebody who wants to buy a house, somebody who wants to sell a house. That's not your target customer. Your target customer is not everybody. And if you really drill down to it, your target customer is localized. If they're just in, the next 3 counties around you, well, now that's a specific target customer. What if you live in a college town and you're looking for people that are trying to rent houses while they're in university? What if people are relocating because you live in a banking hub and you have a lot of people coming up who are getting jobs in that area? That's a target customer that you can focus on and that you can market to. Take a good look at all the people that you had deals with in the past, and definitely go look at the people that were your best customers. What traits made them your best customer? Write those down and keep those in mind, and you'll start to build what we call a customer profile. And that's going to tell you the kind of customers that we want to work with. Again, it doesn't mean that you're not going to take anybody, but it does mean that you can tailor your marketing to get more people like that. And that's going to carve out your niche, which makes you very effective as a real estate agent. Third one is a call to action. You'll hear CTA a lot. And a CTA can be anything from give me a text, shoot me an email, give me a call at the end of any post, or it can be as detailed as an email capture on your website. A lot of brokerages provide agent sites. I think websites are extremely important. I see a lot of agents who don't have them. It's never been easier to get a website done yourself than it is right now in 2023. Squarespace, Wix, WordPress, YouTube tutorials. My grandma can make a website. It's super easy. If you need, you got all my contact information I give to Natalie. If you ever want to shoot me an email with quick tutorials about building websites, I can help you out. There's no need to go pay somebody $10,000 to build you a website. So having call to actions in all of your posts. So at the end of your captions, what is somebody going to do when they read your nice value add caption? You just answered your target customers' questions. You gave them value add content. They're engaged. They believe you're an authority. What am I going to do with that information if there's no call to action? Am I going to call you? Am I going to DM you? Am I going to give you my email? What can I do to take that person that I've just cultivated? I'm warming them up as a lead, and I take them to the next step and I make them a lead that I can actually get in contact with. And for that, we use call to actions. So quick copy on that is put something at the end of your captions for all your social media posts that calls them to email you, shoot you a DM, text you, either of the sort, whatever way is easiest to get in touch with you. I know people that put their phone numbers in their captions or use their Google Meet number so they're not getting spammed on their main number or a business phone. Something to where you're giving so much value add content that people can get in contact with you. And the last one is have a lead capture. So this is a passive CTA. So a passive CTA would be something like on your website, the first thing that you're going to see is a subject that says get in contact or free appraisal. We see a lot of those, like free, tell me about, what's your situation? Maybe I can help. I saw a great one that says I can help. That was the first thing they had on their website. And then a big email capture where they put their email in. I can help. Are you looking to move? Are you looking to sell? I can help. Because real estate agents are problem solvers. We have problems and we need people who are educated in the space to solve them. So how can you have a lead capture that's effective? And the best way to do that is to give value. Give value like I can help. Give value like let me appraise your house. Let me get you connected with my loan officer. Let me give you some sort of value so that I get your contact information because then I can follow up. You typically see these on websites. You can also do them in social media bios. Social media bios are very, very powerful. Whether you have a Facebook business page or you have an Instagram account, a Twitter, a LinkedIn, you have the ability to host links in your bio. What's great about social media accounts is they're positioned to where you can generate a lot of traffic and you can get a lot of people coming to these platforms. But where we struggle is converting all of these traffic. You might hear people that have thousands of followers and they're like, I don't get any leads off social media, but I have all these followers and all these posts. That means you have a conversion rate problem. So how do we convert people that we get to our social media accounts into leads? How do we get them on the phone? How do we get a chance to be that person's real estate agent? We put our links in our bios. We have copy in the bio that's value add. I can help, big arrows down to a link, something to where I can capture your email address. A Zoom schedule link is another great one. Anything that you can get in there to where they can get in touch with you and they have a reason to. And those are my big 4 tips that we can you can do this with any platform. You can do this today. This is stuff that you can use that is going to make a huge difference in your social media. And before I go into some more AI heavy stuff, I want to open it up to questions. Mark, I definitely want, some input from your end. Mark has a lot of influence at scale, a lot of experience with doing this stuff at a higher scale. So Mark, why don't you chime in with your 2 cents? And if anybody has any questions on these 4 points, now's the time.
Yeah, well, I think real quick. So first of all, Susie, and I've got L Payne. L, what's your name? Easier than calling you L Payne. If you're there. Okay, well, Susie, okay,
Sure.
Laura, gotcha. All right. Real quick, you guys can just put it in the chat, but is this stuff new to you? Where are you guys on this journey? Is this stuff obvious or is this stuff, stuff that you're like, hey, I can take this and start incorporating it, and it's going to be helpful? So far, not new, but sorry, but I don't do it well. Okay, so what I want to do here is just kind of give you a little bit more of an example of some of how this stuff could work and really what's going on. Because at the end of the day, I think a lot of people really sort of downplay the effort that it takes if you want to be successful in this space, right? So you've been an agent for a few months. To me, I think that's an amazing opportunity because if you get hooked up on some of the old school strategies, then you're probably going to end up like what a lot of people, where Kyle was talking about, where they're kind of doing the same old thing, following that, hey, work hard, use these 3 methods and you'll be successful. But really what's happening is the agents that are coming in and finding success are the ones that are using more modern day marketing techniques. And they also just understand the scale. So on the idea of posting, every day on multiple accounts, there's a couple different ways to look at that. You could be looking at it from the perspective of how much time do you have to commit to this? And I'm going to speak about it from the perspective that you are willing to commit the time because you believe and understand that if you don't take your marketing into your own hands, you're pretty much just an employee of these lead capture platforms. That's really what it is. You're doing and competing for the exact same leads that everybody else is. You're just buying them. That's like working for a company that gives you your business, and you're not going to find a way to stand out. So I believe that if you're coming into this, you got to start looking at it from the perspective of, okay, I'm going to take my marketing into my own hands. If you believe that, then I want to give you the harsh reality that people that are successfully marketing on social media are posting 3 times a day across all platforms. Video, So they're recording videos, they're editing videos, they're throwing them up 3 times a day across TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube Shorts. They're everywhere and they're doing it high. Now, I don't expect anybody who's just getting in to go ahead and do that to get that same level of success, but that is what these people are doing, and that's who you're competing with. So how do you kind of get into that? I think it's finding that happy middle ground. Currently, what's happening is most people are spending 1 post a week, maybe, and it's not really that good. Well, make that commitment to be like, let's start going a little bit further down the rabbit hole, which is maybe I'm going to make that post once a day. And that's kind of what Kyle was saying. And it really just boils down to like, okay, how much time are you willing to put into this? And circling back to, you should be putting, at least a minimum effort forward. Now, if your time is limited, it's right. Choose your platforms. Like, choose the platform that is going to give you the better chance of success. Posting consistently on 2 platforms that's easy for you is much better than posting sporadically across all the platforms where the content isn't optimized just for the sake of being out there. So really, all of these things are just how much you're willing to commit to it. And we can walk you through the different strategies. If you come to us tomorrow and say, hey, listen, I'm down, I want this to be my number one thing, easily can give you a roadmap and a blueprint on how to do that. But if you're like, I want to kind of ease into it, no problem. Same type of goal that we're working towards, is just a different framework and blueprint. So I would say, if you're in that middle ground, choose the platforms that are easiest for you. Facebook, Insta, let's say. Maybe you're not an image video person, go on Twitter. People are building huge platforms on Twitter, and you can just do typing and texting, similar with LinkedIn, and we can talk about that in a little bit. But once again, just understand at the highest level, they are posting 3 videos per day across every platform. The lowest level, the ones that are dropping off like flies, are posting a couple times a week on sporadic platforms. Do the bare minimum. Choose a couple platforms, post every single day. So that's one thing to kind of keep in mind. The next thing would be looking at the idea of targeted content. So listen, what is targeted content? Okay. The thing that blew my mind the most is that as a startup founder, it is the most important thing ever to understand your customer. And every first-time founder comes in the game thinking that everybody's their customer. You'll hear things like TAM. It's called the total addressable market. And when you're a founder and you're trying to raise money, your total addressable market is pretty much everybody that could purchase your product. So we were selling steaks online. Well, you think that your TAM, your total addressable market, is everybody who eats steaks. And it is true. However, the reality is that's not actually who your customers are. For us, it ended up being women aged, believe it or not, women aged 30 to 55. All right. So it wasn't your typical kids aged 24, males 24 to 40. No, it was women aged 30 to 55, because they were the one who was doing the purchasing for the household. They were health conscious individuals. They usually went to CrossFit gyms. There's all these things that made them our niche customer. And as soon as we started speaking that language and creating content for them, everything changed. And I see that a lot in real estate, where everyone's like, well, my niche is people who buy and sell homes. That's not true. Like, those are the overall market, but you've got to niche down and find who it is that you're specializing with. And it's probably gonna be someone that's similar to you. Now, once again, like I said before, it scales. If you want to do it at the highest level, no problem. You will probably bring up 3 or 4 different ideal clients that you will have a full understanding of who they are, what type of jobs they have, all these different things, and you'll create content specifically for them. But maybe if you don't have that ability and you want to just get started, you'll go ahead and do it where it's like, okay, I just want to choose an overarching person. Now, I know we got 9 minutes left. I can talk on this forever. We can go into more depth after the fact, but long story short, if you got to kind of cut to the chase, at minimum, be a local expert. Be a local expert in your market. That is who your audience is. People in your market. If you want to niche down, people in your neighborhood. And if you want to create content for them, not every post has to be a just sold, just listed. Why not create the ultimate? These are the top 5 cafes in my town, in my neighborhood. These are the top 5 hiking trails. These are the things to do. People want to build a connection with you, and you have that opportunity. So I'm going to take a step back here, because you guys, you opened the gate for me, and trust me, you'll be here all day. One thing I just want to quickly. Susie, I'm seeing you try to post 4 times a week, at least on one platform, never rarely 2 platforms a day. That's great. It's great that it's a starting point. What I would then suggest is, now let's go through your content and see, is that content having an impact? Let's get the quality up before looking to do more. That's kind of step number 1. And then the next thing will be, Lori, you're self-conscious about your voice and looks, so you don't want to do video, but you're trying to overcome it. You don't have to change your life to do this type of stuff. First of all, I think LinkedIn is the biggest area of opportunity for agents. I can't explain why. Just we're running out of time. That is what's happening. And number two is that then just do written form. On LinkedIn, you can do amazing write-ups. On Twitter, you can do amazing write-ups. And right now, you got to understand that it's very fortunate. On Instagram, you can make a post, a photo. It doesn't have to be of you. And you can write a great caption and watch it take off. You don't have to change yourself. Just lean into your strengths. So I digress. I'm going to take a step back here now. Kyle, you're up.
Absolutely. And Natalie, you'll have to have us come back on for Mark to go for 35 minutes on that, and it'd be a great value add, but appreciate it. Yeah, guys, great questions. And just before we get off here, we want to talk AI and specifically the product that we make that Natalie gets to take and present to you guys, and how we think it can fill a lot of gaps for people that are in a position where you might need to go from that 0 to 1 on social media. Maybe you're not sure where to start. Maybe it's too much of a technical hurdle that for you to cross. Maybe you're just busy. Maybe you don't want to be in front of the camera. Maybe you want to get onto a new platform like LinkedIn. And we think this is a great way that we can use new technology to fill those gaps. So really quickly, I want to show you what this does, and you guys can kind of decide how this might play into your strategy with all the new knowledge that we gave you. So really quickly, the product is called RealEstateContent.ai. It's the website and it's the name. So if you search RealEstateContent.ai, this is where you'll find it. This is what your user portal would look like. If you purchase the software, this is where you will use all of the content. And this is kind of like your central hub for all of your social media accounts in one place. So you might know a little bit about AI. AI has the ability to do a lot of different things. You just have to talk to it in a certain way. Some of you guys might have used ChatGPT before, and people get confused with AI products where they might be very similar to ChatGPT. This is very far removed from ChatGPT. This is ChatGPT built for real estate agents to do content. It's the same thing as a big pile of bolts to a car. You know, you might have all the components there that are accessible to you, but unless you can build a car, it's not going to be worth much to you. So this is what we were able to build specifically for the real estate industry, so that it can speak in your voice, speak to your target customers, and do content. And the way that we do that is the first thing you'll do when you come on here is you'll give the AI platform some information about you. Your name, what's the target market that you service? So the area, it might be your town, might be your state, could be the whole country. What service do you offer as a real estate professional? We've had loan officers, brokerage owners, real estate agents, everybody to investors on here. So what exactly do you do for your clients? And what kind of listings do you specialize in? You could be generalized right now. That's fine. You could also be specialized, like the example that I gave in here. And then finally, give a short bio. It wants to learn who you are, so that it can take your unique perspective and your unique voice and create content that sounds like you. And the way that we do that efficiently is with the content calendar. And you guys heard me talk about being able to scale your content across multiple different platforms. And I'm sure some of you guys thought, knee-jerk reaction, that is a major time commitment that I don't have. I agree. This is how we were able to get around it. So in the content calendar, you will put in any topic for a week. So for my example, I made myself a real estate agent in Miami, specializing in vacation homes. And for this week, the first week of January, I said I wanted to make content about how to manage your Miami vacation home when I'm away. Customers would face if I was in this position, and I want to create content that answers their questions, because that's what's going to be valuable to them. So what the content calendar will do is, once you click generate, it will create across all of these social media platforms. This could be as many as you have or as few as you have. For here, I have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and it created a blog. And then you go to approve before it will actual post. So this is all the content that it generated for you. It created an image and it created a caption for each of these platforms. Now, before you post this content, and it will schedule and post ahead of time up to 2 months in advance, which is hugely helpful for people that are on a big time constraint, you have the ability to edit and even change the images. We love AI images. They've come a long way. If you have the ability, we like to say they're placeholders, right? you might not have the ability to, you might not have the content, you might not have enough pictures to post every day, 4 times a day for the entire month. So this is where this AI image can come in and fill the gap for you. But you do have the ability to replace it, and again, with different videos. Susie, that's a great question, to have different content for each. So the AI algorithm that we've built actually optimizes this content for each platform. So your LinkedIn captions and photos are different. Your Twitter thread is a different topic, that is a different way of conveying this topic. So all of these are optimized. They take into account all the data that we've been able to collect from Instagram and from all of these different social media platforms. And it uses that information to make unique posts for each platform that are optimized for it. So that's 4 unique posts across each platform every day. Now, a question that I get a lot: what if there's somebody else who has this, is the same real estate agent as I am in the same city, might even have my same name, they put in everything the same as I do? Am I going to be posting the same content as them if they're on this platform? How am I going to stand out if everybody's using this? You can put in the same exact information and you will never get the same post twice. All of this is unique to you. It's unique to your social media accounts. It's unique to your outputs. You will never get the same post as somebody else, even with the exact same information, which is really rare today, to be able to stand out and be that unique. So we give you the ability to edit your captions, edit your pictures, but what this does, it's able to scale your content very easily and very quickly, to where I can generate and post 120 pieces of content a month in about 20 minutes of generating. And once you go through everything, you make sure that it's speaking in your voice. You might add edits, you might add a phone number in there, you might add a nice call to action. It's ready to post. It's optimized for your target customer, and you can think about it next month whenever you have to come back and do it again. So it's a great time saver. It's targeted for your ideal customer. I can tell you, because it generates your ideal customer. Remember, we talked about what qualities this customer might possess. It'll create that for you. So this is a great way you can use the client avatars window to understand what your ideal customer might look like. They're very accurate. We've had great feedback on how the information that it will generate from that. And this is a great way to get in that environment.
And
Natalie,
Kyle, sorry to interrupt you, just a time check. We've got 1.5 minutes left. So I'm sorry about that, but we will follow up with everybody with an email of this recording and more information on how you can sign up for this. So I just wanted to let you know that, in case you have any closing remarks.
That's it. Yep. So Natalie, I'm sure you'll have you'll hear plenty more about RealEstateContent.ai. I definitely want to hear some more of your questions. I'll be in the group to answer as much as possible and give plenty of value add, whether it's standard social media practices, what AI tools you can use, whatever problems you're facing. We're here to be a resource for you. And if RealEstateContent.ai can help, it's definitely there. Natalie has a link, and specifically for this group, you can use code Natalie40 and get 40% off your first month. And that's exclusive just to Natalie's group and friends of her. So thank you guys so much. And we really appreciate being able to speak to you today, and we'd love to do it again.
Kyle and Mark, thank you so much. I am so excited about this technology, and I hope that everybody found this training valuable. I mean, there were so many great tips. So we want to have you guys back soon, and we'll do some more in-depth trainings. But thank you. We really appreciate it. And thank you for everyone for being here today. We enjoyed hanging out with you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you all.
All right. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.